First of all, here's a poem to help you remember how to round numbers, just for the hell of it. Find your number, look next door. 4 or less, just ignore. 5 or more, add one more. Quite a profound poem, that one. So let's see if you can remember it. First line. Find your number, look next door. 4 or less, just ignore. 5 or more, add one more. Let's see how it works. So we'll try the poem on this problem. We've got to round this number, 368971, to the nearest 10,000. Now before we start a rounding, we should have a good idea of what the answer could be. And it can only be one of these two numbers, because rounding to the nearest 10,000 is going to be either above or below the number given. So 370,000 or 360. And I'm sure you know the answer already. But let's go for the poem. There's the number. So find your number. Well, the number is 6, because it's the nearest 10,000. Look next door, which means we look next door to that number. It's a 8. 4 or less, just ignore. Well, it's not less than 4. 5 or more, add one more. Yes, it is more than 5, so we're going to add one more to that 6, and we're going to end up with 370 with 3 zeros. So your answer is that number, 368971, rounded to the nearest 10,000 is 370,000. Now one with decimals, so we got to round 2.3549 to 2 decimal places. Again, have an idea of what the answer should be. It's either going to be 2.36 or 2.35, because those are the only two numbers on either side of that given number. Using the poem, find your number. Well, it's a second decimal place. Look next door. Next door is a 4. 4 or less, just ignore. Well, we're there because it's 4 or less, so we can just ignore those last two. Now, it's important that you don't write zeros in to replace the 4 and 9 that disappeared. Your answer is 2.3549, rounded to 2 dp, or 2 decimal places, is 2.35. Or if it comes as part of an answer, remember to write in brackets 2 dp, indicating that you've rounded to 2 decimal places. Now what happens if the number you have to change is a 9? When you add 1 to 9 you get 10. So how do you add your 10? Of course you know how to do this. Round this number to 2 decimal places. Right, 4.3971. Let's find our number. It's a 9. Look next door. Yep, that's a 7. 4 or less, just ignore. No, it's more than 4. 5 or more, add one more. Right, so we are going to add 1 to the 9, and we get a 40. Now the reason for that is that your 1 is carried over. If we look down here at the bottom, you'll see 9 plus 1 is 10. You can't write a 10 down there, so you carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. Now you're usually told what to round your answers off to. However, with money problems that's sometimes left off. Always round money problems to 2 decimal places. In this problem you've got piping which costs 1.67, so $1.67 per meter, and they're 5.5 meters. When you work that out in the calculator you're going to get 9.185. So what you must do is round that off to 2 dp, or the nearest cent. Do your thing, however you do it, and you're going to get 9.19. So your answer will be written, the cost of piping would be $9.19, and put 2 dp in the brackets to indicate that you've rounded off to 2 decimal places.